Good morning. It's Saturday, May 1st. That's also May Day. And May Day was a workers' day, or the International Workers' Day. It was a day commemorating the struggles and gains made by workers and the labor movement, observed by many countries on May 1st. And as a young man in my teens, I belonged to a union. My parents were union members. We were staunch advocates for unions, and me and my brothers marched in the May Day parade several times. But I'm not here to talk about May Day. I want to do a quick recap of the visions associated with President Biden's speech on Wednesday. So the president spoke to the Congress for the first time on Wednesday, on the 99th day in office. And there was one section of his speech that I thought was quite compelling. He spoke about the project called American democracy, but it was not a patriotic speech. He didn't declare it as a great movement. He didn't declare that he had built it himself. He told about the shortcomings of our system of government. He compared democracy to autocracy. He said autocrats think that democracy can't compete in the 21st century with autocracies because it takes too long to get a consensus. I believe that was a critical statement given the fact that it does take too long and that he's telling the truth and that he's pointing out one of the major problems that we have in this country right now. So by highlighting the chief problem with democracy, Joe was able to also remind us of the strengths of democracy. He said a leader in a democracy gets things done by getting many sides to agree, and that's what makes it legitimate. He said autocrats are different from American presidents. They govern by stifling dissent. And boy, we could use some stifling of dissent in this country right about now. And that dissent comes from many places, from the media, from the crowds that gather outside and protest. But we Democratic leaders don't threaten punishment or dangle pardons, and they don't humiliate their rivals via Twitter. This isn't because they're nice guys, he said. It's because they'd forfeit real authority if they did these things. So, in my mind, the recognition that American democracy can be very, very slow. He's pointing out the major problem that exists right in this country without naming names and without pointing fingers at anybody. That was pretty smart to do that because in a way he's giving credit to Xi Jinping, Putin, and even former President Trump, giving them credit for getting things done the way they got them done. Autocrats are able to work swiftly while creating movements such as communism or Trumpism. They don't proceed by getting a lot of buy-in. Now, of course, we have a small form of autocracy in this country, the executive order. And he pointed that out also. So that's what I got out of the speech, the best part, I thought. Now, I want to tell you what Tucker Carlson of Fox News had to say about the speech. Tucker Carlson opened his article or his little blurb by complaining about the masks that Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris were wearing. He said they were masked up like outlaws. And even though they had all been vaccinated, so there was no reason to be wearing masks. I guess he couldn't appreciate the fact that they were setting an example, that it wasn't time to give up your mask when you're in a crowded room. But anyhow, that was his big deal. They were wearing masks. He claimed they all seemed to have a psychological disorder, but he couldn't figure it out because Biden started talking. And he complained about Joe's saying, Americans choose hope over fear, truth over lies, light over darkness. And he claimed that most of the watchers' brains probably shut down, even though he complained that the audience was small. Said the news media didn't care. They didn't even listen to him, he said. They have no interest in what Joe Biden says. They got him elected. He's their guy, and that's that. So his claim is that the media got Joe Biden elected, not the deeds of Donald Trump. The media got Joe Biden elected. Now we know the media plays a strong role in this country, and they have a lot of influence, maybe too much influence. But Carlson missed the point on Trump's presidency. And I don't want to get into that because I don't want to upset people. And he slipped in the point about his dazzling co-star Kamala Harris, because many on the right feel that she's going to end up president before Joe Biden's term is out. And they're terrified of that. And I don't know why. So I will leave you with that and leave you with the thoughts that he gave a pretty good speech. I wouldn't call it a great speech, but Biden gave a good speech. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.